Okay, I believe we are set to go. It is 11 o'clock sharp on my clock, so I think we will get underway. My name is Austin Cardinal from the Granite 101. Happy to MC today's announcement. I'd like to thank all of our speakers, attending VIPs, media, and guests here today. I'd like to recognize a few of our speakers. Lloyd Longfield, Member of Parliament for Guelph, is here. Stephen Crawford, Parliamentary Assistant to the Minister of Infrastructure and Member of Provincial Parliament for Oakville, is here. His Worship Kelly Linton, Mayor of the Township of Center Wellington, is here. Peter Sweeney, CEO of the YMCA of Three Rivers in Guelph, and Jaya James, Executive Director, Hope House in Guelph. So we will get right into it. I'll now invite MP Longfield to speak. MP Longfield, member of Parliament for Guelph, on behalf of the Honourable Catherine McKenna, Minister of Infrastructure and Communities. MP Longfield, it's all you.
Well, thank you very much, Austin, and it's great to be here. Hello, everyone. I wish we were in person. I've been saying that for over a year, and sometime, hopefully, we get back together so we can do these things in person, but also dropping in locally at Hope House and seeing the great work that continues there. My mornings at the Y are something that I've been struggling with, as a lot of Canadians have, to keep up with their fitness as well as their social contacts. But today I'm here virtually on behalf of the Honourable Catherine McKenna, a colleague of mine from Ottawa that's the Federal Minister of Infrastructure and Communities. I'm also, along with my provincial and municipal counterparts, and thank you to those that have joined to be here with us this morning. I haven't seen Michael Chong in the waiting room yet, but I know we've reached out to him, and we do work together on a nonpartisan basis when we're looking at things that can improve our communities, whether it's in Wellington, Halton Hills, or in Guelph. So thank you for participating in today's announcement. For everybody that's here, I'd like to take a moment to acknowledge that Guelph is now is situated on the treaty land of the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation and the Anishinaabe peoples, whose traditional territory that I'm speaking to you from. And the Dish with One Spoon Covenant, which is sharing one dish, taking what we need and leaving for other people, sharing a spoon, that we are all working on things together. And announcements like tonight, or today's announcement, really do show that we are all working together and sharing what we can, and helping each other through not just COVID, but through life in general. So since last March, Canadians have been impacted by the consequences of COVID-19. Coast to coast to coast, we've been learning how to cope with this new reality that we're facing, and continues to evolve, and we continue to face new challenges. And we are drawing on our own strength, but also the strengths of the community and the people around us. It's not been easy for anybody. It's a situation that is new for all of us. All orders of government are reacting. All orders of government are trying what we can do to help to work together and reduce the impact of the pandemic on the people that we're all serving together. Protecting lives, supporting communities, creating jobs, but really trying to get to the other side of this together. So thank you to my provincial counterparts for sure that are here today, that we are all serving one citizen, and those are the people that projects like this are intended to help with. So it's time to start looking forward. I mean, we are still going through the ups and downs of it, but we need to look at how do we build up together, and how do we do it in a way that makes sense for our communities to be more livable, more resilient, more sustainable places to live, work, and raise our families, using lessons that we're learning as we go through this pandemic to say, how do we do better in the future? That's why I'm really pleased to join all of you today to announce the federal support on the YMCA, YWCA of Three Rivers and Hope House in Guelph, as well as the Elora Community Center and Arena in Elora. Investing in community spaces with the necessary infrastructure is an essential part of growing our economy and providing communities and Canadians with more options to connect, to express themselves, and to support one another. So today, I'm proud to announce that the Government of Canada is providing more than $3.4 million to support these 3 projects in Guelph and Wellington County. The YMCA of Three Rivers will be receiving $1,186,000, $1,186,339 to be exact. Hope House is receiving $220,156, and the Elora Community Center and Arena is receiving $1,998,959. The YMCA of Guelph Three Rivers will expand their recreational space and enhance the facility for those with disabilities to enable our youth as well as our families with young children to be able to participate more fully in the activities at the Y, but within our community. And Peter Sweeney will be talking more about that in a minute. Hope House will be enhancing and restoring their 100-year-old church facility to allow with the expansion of the work in their community, which Jaya James will speak to. And finally, the Elora Community Center will renovate and expand the center to improve accessibility, expand their space, and offer new programming to upgrade their existing equipment, which Mayor Kelly Linton will talk about. But by investing in these projects like these that we're announcing today, we're supporting the creation of more accessible and welcoming community and cultural spaces, and we're bringing Canadians together to learn and explore while also creating jobs and building the local economy. It was a few years ago that Jaya and I talked on Cork Street. We were next door neighbors where my constituency office was. Some of these things have to percolate for a long time, but it's great to get to the final stage where now the next phase of the work begins, which is the hard work of creating these projects and making them get through to the end result of helping the people in our community. Partnerships are key to supporting the community across the country, and that's why our government is working closely with provinces, municipalities, and stakeholders to get projects built quickly. Today's announcement is another great example of how working with all our partners across the country can make positive differences in the lives of so many. So it's an investment for today and for tomorrow. By investing in community and cultural infrastructure today, we're putting down a down payment on a more connected and resilient community where Canadians can live, grow, and raise their families for generations to come. So thank you again. Thank you to the partners that are here. Thank you to the other orders of government that are represented. And I'll turn it back over to you, Austin. Thank you.
Thank you, MP Longfield. I'll now invite Stephen Crawford, Parliamentary Assistant to the Minister of Infrastructure and Member of Provincial Parliament for Oakville, to provide remarks on behalf of Laurie Scott, Ontario's Minister of Infrastructure.
Yeah, thank you very much, Austin, and good to see you, Lloyd, again for another infrastructure announcement in your community. And I'm really pleased to be here today on behalf of the Honorable Laurie Scott, Minister of Infrastructure for Ontario, who wasn't able to be present, but I'm proud to represent her today. And I will say at the outset, I know it's April 1st. This is no April Fool's joke. This is great investments in your communities, 2 great communities, Guelph and Elora. So I do certainly want to start out with that. So Ontario is very excited and pleased to be investing $2.8 million in provincial funding to improve 3 community projects here in Elora and Guelph. The first project investment being announced today will support the renovation and expansion of the Elora Community Center. This project will improve accessibility and recreational activities while also increasing and enhancing the center's services for youth and seniors as well. Funding will also support the renovation and expansion of the YMCA of Three Rivers in Guelph. This project involves a 3-story addition to the YMCA, which will add 2,000 square feet and create more accessible recreational space and activities for those with disabilities and families with young children. Finally, the rehabilitation of the 100-year-old church building and the addition of a 3-story community center will allow Hope House to improve and expand its important services for the residents in Guelph. Upgrades will help Hope House continue to support residents by providing food, groceries, clothing, and numerous community projects to thousands of households in the city. Supporting cultural and recreational infrastructure projects like these helps to make our communities both stronger and more inclusive. And I'm delighted that the residents of Elora and Guelph will benefit from this joint investment. The Investing in Canada Infrastructure Program, or it's referred to as ICIP, is investing up to $30 billion in total project funding for communities in Ontario over the next 10 years. And this will include over $10.2 billion of investments from the provincial government. We're rebuilding the economy and creating a healthy, inclusive, and safe communities across Ontario through our federal and provincial partnership. And I'd certainly like to thank the Elora Community Center, the YMCA of Three Rivers, Hope House, Mayor Linton, our federal partners. I mentioned MP Longfield, as well as I see MP Michael Chong on here as well, for all of their contributions to these infrastructure projects. And I'd certainly like to give a shout out as well to the Speaker of the House and the MPP for Wellington Halton Hills, Mr. Ted Arnott as well. So with that, I would like to wish you all the best. And I think this is going to be great projects for your communities, and I'm proud to be a part of it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, PA Crawford. We'll now hand things over to His Worship Kelly Linton, Mayor of the Township of Centre Wellington, to deliver remarks on behalf of the recipient. Mayor Linton.
Thanks very much, Austin. And today is a really exciting day for Centre Wellington. I'm pleased to be here with all of you today, including MP Longfield, Parliamentary Assistant Crawford, and our own MP Michael Chong. I know that Ted Arnott wishes he could be here. He has a little bit of a small role at the Queen's Park right now, being Speaker of the House. So since the House is in session, it probably makes sense for him to be there. But I know that he wanted me to extend his thanks and his congratulations today. So I'm thrilled to see that we're receiving Infrastructure Canada funding for this exciting project to renovate, to expand, to rehabilitate the Elora Community Centre. This facility means an awful lot to me. As a teenager, I worked in the arena. It was one of the first jobs I had. I worked at the concession booth there, and one of my specialties was melting Mars bars in a microwave. So that was really yummy, and it was a big hit back in I'm not going to tell you what days, but I think it was the 80s. I also played a lot of hockey in this arena. I also watched my daughter Kayla and my son Christian play a lot of hockey in the arena. It became a second home to me for a number of years, so this means a lot to me. Our staff have done the best that they could do to maintain a 40-year-old facility over the years, but now we have the opportunity to do something really, really special for our community. So this funding will improve accessibility for all our residents and their families. It will remove physical barriers, enlarge the dressing rooms, and provide other facility upgrades across the whole facility. The newly renovated Elora Community Center will provide everyone equal opportunity to participate, whether it's seniors, whether it's youth, or anybody else on your family. So we're pleased to see, very pleased to see this project moving ahead with the support of all levels of government. I also want to take a minute to thank our Centre Wellington staff for doing a really excellent job in putting a successful application together. So a special thanks goes to Pat Newson, Matt Tucker, and Dan Wilson. Again, thanks to our Canadian and Ontario governments for investing in rural Ontario. I guarantee you that this rejuvenated facility will make Centre Wellington an even better place to live and to play. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mayor Linton. I'll now hand things over to Peter Sweeney at the YMCA to speak as recipient. Peter.
Thanks, Austin. Hi, everybody. My name is Peter Sweeney. I was just introduced. And I'm pleased to bring greetings and gratitude from the YMCA of Three Rivers and the Guelph Y. On behalf of the board of directors, our board chair, Harold Whiteside, is here, and a number of our staff are also here. I was reflecting on, Lloyd, your comments around the importance of investing in infrastructure to be able to, as you said, put a down payment on a more connected community. And at the Y, and most community organizations these days, we're waking up, with a bit of heaviness today in Ontario, with a retreat on our continued efforts to respond to this pandemic. And people have asked me a number of times, what am I most worried about? And it's that notion of connectedness and the inability for organizations like ours in the charitable sector to really step up and respond when people really need us the most. And when I think about the investment that is being made today on behalf of the federal and provincial government, not just in the Guelph Y, but most importantly in this community, will certainly, as mentioned, provide us the space to expand and provide services for seniors and families and be more accessible. And the one specific area that we're very, very excited about, as this has a leveraging opportunity to enable us to participate in a fulsome way in the Integrated Youth Service Network, which is a program, multi-service program. And I see a number of our partners on the call, both from the operational and the fundraising side and the partnership side. Because when we think about the impact of COVID on children and youth, in particular, in those struggling with mental health, the imperative to provide safe spaces where young people have access to the facilities and the people and the expertise to be able to do this in their backyard is incredibly important. And being part of a urban and rural network to be able to provide these services is incredibly important. And the community has already significantly responded through a joint fundraising campaign, and this allows us to go one step further and put the space in place to make sure that we have the facility to be able to offer these programs. There were cracks in the community prior to COVID, and what we've seen is this pandemic has exacerbated in many cases, and we can't afford to let our young people fall through the cracks, particularly those that are struggling in ways that we don't always physically see. So we're very honored to be part of this. We're honored for the investment, and again, to your notion of the down payment, Lloyd, on behalf of the Y and all of our partners, our commitment is to return that with interest in the outcome of more kids who have the supports that they need to survive and thrive in this community. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Peter. I'll now invite Jaya James, Executive Director of Hope House, as a recipient to speak. Jaya.
Thank you very much. I really feel like I'm at the Oscars today, because for nonprofits, these kind of announcements are huge. And I know that the other speakers would echo that as well. So the hard work of good government is this working across levels. And so I really want to commend all the levels of government that have been involved in these projects. I know some of that back office work and how many ups and downs files have to go through. And so we really appreciate all the effort everyone has done to push things along and to get to this point today. So thank you for doing the hard work of good government. So Hope House is absolutely thrilled to be receiving this funding from both the province and the Fed. We will be doing something that is critical for all our communities, which is the repurposing of existing community assets into resources that are supportive of the community. So we operate out of a 184-year-old church building, and this now has become a community hub that offers a whole bunch of services to help people address poverty, whether that's financial poverty, emotional, relational, all the different aspects of it. So we are really thankful that we're going to be able to do some key updates to this building, including some masonry work, which you can imagine is necessary based on the age of the building, and a flat roof as well. So thank you so much for everything here. And thank you to everyone who's been doing that hard work of helping to make sure that our communities are stronger and more resilient.
Thank you, Jaya. I'll now invite members of the media to participate in a Q&A with the panelists, moderated by Carrie O'Kane, Clerk of the Township of Center Wellington. I'll hand things over to you, Carrie.
Thank you very much. I will ask, I believe I can recognize 4 members of the media with us today. Joanne from the Wellington Advertiser, Keegan from Guelph Today, Arlene Dowell from the Grand 101. Is there any other member of the media that I have missed? Okay, thank you. So I will please ask that you have one question and one follow-up. Please direct your question to the specific speaker, and of course, keep your questions on topic. So I will ask Joanne from the Wellington Advertiser to come forward, please.
Hi. My power went out partway through this, so I have missed most of this presentation. So I can't ask any questions right now. I apologize.
Okay, thank you. Keegan from Guelph Today.
Hi, thank you. I just want to make sure I have the numbers right. Can I get the numbers of dollars going to each organization again? And if there's can I get a breakdown of it between federal and provincial funding, if possible?
Keegan, who are you directing your question to?
I guess that would be Mr. Longfield.
Thank you.
Let me just pull that up, Keegan, and thanks for the question. I don't have the breakdown of federal provincial numbers. I've just got the breakdowns on projects, and the projects are for YMCA of Three Rivers is $1,186,339. Hope House is $220,156. And the Elora Community Center and Arena is $1,998,959. And apparently on the very bottom of my notes, I may have that. So just the breakdown by federal provincial. I don't see it on my speaker.
I could add to that. So
that would be great. Thank you.
Yeah, with the ISIP program, the program in general is 40% federal, 33% provincial, and 27% recipient. It may be the municipality or the organization, depending on the circumstance, but that's generally throughout all the ISIP CCR program.
Yeah, thanks. And I have the dollar amounts that we can forward over to you based on those percentages. I do have them at the very bottom of a different set of notes. So.
Okay, I have no follow-up question. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Keegan. Arlene from the Grand 101, do you have any questions for the panel?
Sorry about that, having trouble with the microphone. I was just wondering if someone could get into a little more detail regarding the exact improvements for the Elora Community Center and Arena. Do we know exactly what will be done to improve the accessibility?
I could pick up at the start of that if you'd like, Kelly, and maybe now that I've found which parts of my notes I've got the details on the spreadsheet. The renovation and rehabilitation of the Elora Community Center and Arena. The project will rehabilitate, renovate, and expand the Elora Community Center to improve accessibility, increase its longevity, and expand the utility of the space for new recreation, leisure, and cultural programming, all of which both increase the number and range of clientele. Work includes placement of the arena floor, board and glass, and refrigeration equipment, accessibility upgrades, installation of emergency generator and solar panels.
Yeah, and I have nothing to add to that, Lloyd. You got everything off the list here. So
yeah, that was in the application. But yeah.
I validate that all that is accurate.
I don't know about the microwave oven and the Mars bars, but maybe we need to replace that if you've been monkeying around with that one too.
That's not a bad idea.
Great, thank you so much. No follow-up.
Okay, thank you. So I believe that's it for the Q&A.
All right, thanks, Carrie, and thanks for everybody joining today. That'll actually wrap up our announcement and concludes the conference. Have a happy April Fool's Day, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Austin.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks,
everybody, and all the best.
Thank you.
You well, Stephen.
Bye.